Hey there, I am Stormdog. I've always liked doing Factorio in a large-scale, brute force kind of way. I love building big. The last achievement I still needed when I was working my way through all of them was the large-scaliest, brute forciest one of all, the 20 million green circuits achievement. I don't have the patience to wait until I just hit that number via all the other normal factories that I build, so I decided to make a factory that would get me there all on its own. So I haven't seen a lot of other people showing off their setups for this, so I will show you mine. Hopefully you'll think it's interesting. I'm going to start with the copper supply because it's basically the same as the iron supply, it's just bigger because obviously the green circuits need more copper than they do iron. So I have 4 sets of 8x5 chest buffers here. Each set of 2 buffers is feeding 1 belt so that we can saturate both lanes. The belts flow through this mixer here that is a 16 belt balancer. It doesn't balance the lanes, sadly, but I've in my later designs I have done a lot more work with lane balancing. In this one, you can see everything is pulling off one side, which is kind of annoying because the buffers end up, half full, half empty, row by row. Anyway, so copper ore flows down through here toward the smelters. You can see that these 4 lanes kind of go off to the side. I'll show you where those go in a minute. Here is where the copper ore merges with all of the coal to go down to the smelters. So yeah, I'm using coal-fired steel furnaces rather than electric ones for no good reason other than I think it's kind of fun to limit myself to coal-burning furnaces, and I enjoy trying to do the belt split merges here with ore plus coal. And again, later designs of this I've done are more lane balanced. I've actually got each incoming copper belt splitting and meeting coal coming in on each side so that we have, gotta get my fingers in the camera here, so that we kind of have like a C shape where one lane of on a single belt, each lane goes and merges with a single coal belt. Anyway, that's not relevant to this particular build because I didn't do that. So right, here are my copper smelters. You'll see there are quite a few of them. And then here we have some side merges from these 4 supplemental copper belts. And the reason those are there is because when this is all running at full capacity, by the time the feed belts get to this point in the system, I am out of copper ore. So I thought I would just create a second set of belts that will come down here and split into 8 and then side merge into the feed belts, because it wasn't a matter of lack of iron ore, it was just a matter of lack of throughput on a single belt to keep these things fed. So that resolved that. As you see, there are even more smelters, and they basically all get utilized when this thing is running at full blast. I'm going to follow my copper plate belts back out, and again you'll note that there's some that go down this way following the mouse cursor. It's because these output belts were getting saturated, so I needed to have some supplemental out belts. So we've got, you think, 8 lanes of copper 8 belts full of copper plates, which go through 4x4 lane belt balancers here, and then go through a merge here into 8 balanced belts. We're going to follow these around. You might notice there are, I don't know, a crapload of robots overhead. I got really tired of continuing to build train lines and belt lines to keep feeding resources to this beast, so I figured I'd just do it by robots and just plop roboports down everywhere. As you can see, I've got approximately 14,000 logistic robots that are feeding my machines, and it worked out pretty well. So here is the Copper River joining up with the Iron River, heading down toward the Green Circuit Array. Right, so here is my set of green circuit makers. Again, there are quite a few of them. We have, I don't know how many exactly, a lot. And much like the smelting arrays, let's turn that on, there we go. much like the smelting arrays, the output belts for the green circuits were getting saturated, so these assemblers further down the line couldn't deposit any belts. I keep saying belts when I mean something else. Couldn't deposit any circuits on the belt, so I again created this kind of supplemental out so that we can have extra green circuit makers. So we have 4 belts of green circuits coming out here, which come over here and join 4 more belts of green circuits from the primary, well, the first set of producers. We follow those out here, and we see where they kind of flow with each other parallel up to this point, where we have another couple of balancers and merges. Let me see. We'll follow this along. Oh, I was going to say, all of those assemblers have level 3 productivity modules, and that's because I figured I can get speed as much as I want by building more assemblers. The problem was my belts bringing plates to the assemblers were saturated, and I had already expanded from 2 belts to 4 belts to 8 belts, and expanded to 16 would have just been kind of ridiculous. So I wanted to have as much production as I could with a given amount of resource coming through, with a given amount of throughput. So the productivity modules were the best way to go for that. Let's see, going along here. Over here on the right is just some little readouts I made to keep track of my liquid levels. And then up here I have my little rave. I put this in just because I wanted to be able to zoom way out and look at a glance to see whether green circuits were still flowing or if something had jammed up or if my buffer was full. So I just put some lights here that trigger as things flow by. And I made them colored because I could, and it was fun. So up here, this is the beginning of my green circuit storage array. Here we have the combinator telling me how many are in here, which at this point is 12 million. I guess I must have made about 8 million in all my other games put together. We have about 2,000 of these stack inserters in the factory in total. Most of them are here in this array. Just by themselves, my stack inserters draw about 100 megawatts because there's a lot of them. So I'm going to show you the whole expanse of the array. Let's start walking north, and here's more of the array, and some more of the array, and some more of the storage array, and there's some more of the storage array. Oops, got stuck there. There's some more. Oh, and there we go. That's the end. Yeah, so that's about all. Yeah, the best part of this is both that I got all the achievements and that I was finally done with all the achievements, so I could start messing around with mods some more. It's kind of irrational, but I've never gotten every single achievement in the game, and I decided this would be the one. I just get really stuck on this game. I've logged over 700 hours now, and I think with 1.5 coming out, I'm probably going to end up logging a lot more. And in fact, that's one of the reasons I decided to make a couple of videos now, because in a few days, I think a lot of these builds are going to be kind of obsolete. So, I don't know, show them while I got them. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have comments or questions. Thanks.